Hello friends, and welcome to today's video where we're doing something different in honor of the season finale of Euphoria, which airs tonight for me, last night by the time I post this. But I am going to, instead of talking about K-pop like I normally do, I am just talking about Euphoria and just all the characters in Euphoria, or at least most of them, like the main ones and then some of the like supporting recurring characters. Literally, I just opened up the Wikipedia page, went through it, was like, I have enough to say about this character, or I don't have enough to say about this character, so they're not on here. That's basically what's gonna happen in this video. Before I actually get into that though, some disclaimers. First of all, like I just said, the season finale comes out tonight for me. It is not yet out, so I have not seen it, but there will potentially be spoilers for everything up until the season finale. If you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch it or go catch up on Euphoria and then watch it. Either way, the season finale will not be taken into account for this video. That is basically my point in saying that. My other disclaimer, which is my standard disclaimer, everything I say in this video is just my opinion and you can disagree with every single word I say in this video. That is great. I love that for you. I love that for me. I love that for us. So I don't have a ton of notes for this video. Like, I have a new notebook, by the way. Please look at her. She's so pretty. My sister got it for me for my birthday. It's literally just a list of the characters. I have like some-ish notes about Rue because she's the first one, and then I was like, fuck it, we're not doing notes. But it's just a list of characters that are in the order of the Wikipedia page, if you were wondering. So we're gonna get started with Rue because she is first and the main character. Okay, so Rue. The first thing we do need to talk about with Rue is her drug usage. I will admit one thing about myself. There are like a handful of drugs Rue tried. I think it's just, if I recall correctly, some of the specific prescription medications and then fentanyl that I've never done. Everything else I've tried. So take that into consideration as you wish, but I will not be using her like drug addiction as part of her character judgment just because like she is a drug addict. People become drug addicts. Some people can do drugs without becoming drug addicts. So there is that in there. But even like sober Rue is pretty toxic if you ask me. Like, first of all, her and Jules should not be a couple. We can get into that at a later point. Actually, no, we're gonna get into that now. Her and Jules should not be a couple. They do not complement each other well. I don't think they make a good relationship. They don't make a healthy relationship. It's very codependent. It's just, I'm not here for it. But Rue is also just like, the things Rue says, even like sober Rue or like unrelated to her drug use, are pretty fucked up. Like, first of all, she clearly knows nothing about her sister. I know very little about my sister. Like, I don't even know what the hell she's majoring in college at this point. But, like, I would still know when she's, like, failing out of classes and is, like, deeply... Like, when my sister is, like, deeply fucked up, I still know. So, there's that. She's just a bad sister. And just as a character, I don't like her. I want to root for her so badly, but she makes it so hard. Also, for anyone who is wondering, my mug says I can't adult today, and my friend got it for me, and I love it so much. That's unrelated, but like I know it's in the thumbnail, and if you see it in the back, this might just be a me thing, but whenever I see like something written in a video like this, I just am dying to know what it says, so that's what my mug says, if you were curious. But anyway, our next character is going to be Lexi. Here's how I feel about Lexi. Up until her actual play episode, like the episode of the play, I was so here for her. I was rooting for her. Not really in season 1 because she didn't do anything. But in season 2, like, I was totally here for her arc. I was totally supportive of it. I was here for her play. Then the play happened. And then the play episode happened. And then Lexi turned into a fucking bitch. Like, I am just gonna say, like, Lexi was so rude in this episode. I get. It was her play. She wanted it to go well. But, like, she was rude as hell to everyone in this episode. Like, when that one girl started crying backstage, the girl who plays Cassie, I think, and she was just like, it's a director's note, just take it. You don't have to cry about it. It's like, maybe be like, yo, you good? Because, like, even if she's just concerned about her play, like, you don't want one of your main characters to go outside onto that stage and be a hot mess, even if, like, just... She was not nice. And to the lighting guy, she was rude to that lighting guy. I will point out, some people I've seen on Twitter have some issues with her and Fesco because they don't like it. I don't care. I really don't. I don't think they'd make a really good couple just because, like, I don't think they really have that much in common. Like, yeah, they like similar-y movies and, like, he's nice to her. That's pretty much it. Like, it's not even like, oh, like, we can get high together. Because, like, that is the cornerstone of some people's relationships, and I'm not judging that. But, like, what do they even, like, talk about when they are talking all night? Like, it really just seems like Lexi is using him as a soundboard for her play and to just validate her feelings. And that doesn't seem like a healthy relationship to me. I don't care. I know some people have an issue with it, so I wanted to bring it up, but personally, I literally don't give a shit. Speaking of Fesco, he's the next character we're going to discuss. For the most part, I will support Fesco. He is one of my favorite characters in the show, and by that I mean he's one of the only characters that I don't hate. But I will also never give my full support to a man whose entire life is selling drugs to children. I just can't get behind that. I have deep issues with that being your chosen profession. I do think as a character he's very interesting. I like that part in the season premiere for season 2 when he was like talking about God and shit and she was like, well, you sell drugs to kids. And he was like, well, McDonald's gives people diabetes. You don't care about, like, no one's coming after the CEO of McDonald's for killing a bunch of people. Like, I feel like that man has some deep thoughts that he's just never sober enough to actually articulate. And speaking of his articulation, I need him to talk faster. I know that's the most cliche thing anyone has ever said, but I don't care. I stand by it. I need him to talk faster. He takes half the scene just saying 2 lines, and it's so annoying. I also don't find him attractive. I don't find him unattractive. He's just a man to me, but I know there was discourse on Twitter about his level of attractiveness, so I thought I'd weigh in on that. Now for Satan himself, Cal Jacobs. Cal Jacobs, at least for season 2, because he doesn't do anything really in season 1, but in season 2, I see the vision of what they wanted for him. They wanted him to be this big bad character, and it was stupid, and it was terrible, and it was not done well. Like, think about the scenes he was in. First, he's like sitting at Lexi and Cassie's table being like, who beat up Nate? Like, who was it? Who was it? First of all, this man has no right to try and hunt down the person who assaulted his son when he covered up his son's attempted murder, basically, when he choked Maddie. So, like, we're gonna get to that when we get to Nate and Maddie, but for this season, though, he's like, I'm gonna, like, call my friend, the chief of police. Like, if I was Alexi, I'd just be like, okay, like, do it. Do it. I dare you. Please, here's my phone. Call him. Call him right now. Also, when he, like, comes to Ashtray and Fesco's house and he's, like, following them home, and Ashtray just walks out with a shotgun and then gives him a fucking concussion, that was beautiful. I stand that. But also, like, on that note, Cal's family wants him dead. They let him get behind the wheel of a car with a TBI while drunk. Like, they did not want him to come back from that little road trip. And to be fair, during that scene, I literally thought he was gonna die. And then when we saw Elliot, Jules, and Rue, like, in the car, I was like, oh my god, he's gonna hit them. It was just, I had feelings about that scene, but, like, his family wants him dead. Also, let's talk about his flashback scene for a minute. I didn't care. Like, in the moment, I cared. In the moment, I was losing my mind. But, like, in the aftermath, it's like, we know Cal Jacobs isn't a straight man. Like, we've seen video evidence of him having sex with men. So, we know he's not a straight man. What did this give us? His tragic backstory? Okay, why is he still like, it shouldn't be, like, you having an unrequited love for your high school bestie should not lead to you fucking children. Like, the connection, you went from A to, like, the square root of pi. Like, they're not connected in any way. And like, Sam Levinson has said that he just wanted to give us sympathy for Cal, and it didn't give me any sympathy for Cal, because I was like, okay, but you still fuck children. Like, it make sense. Our next character is Maddie. Here's how I feel about Maddie. I'm gonna sum it up in one brief little statement. I need someone to put that girl in her place. She is walking around that school acting like the queen bee, and it's like, I need someone to put her in her place. And I wish Cassie, we'll talk about Cassie when we get to Cassie, but I wish Cassie just had the confidence when Maddie was screaming at her for hooking up with Nate to be like, you were broken up. He's, I guess, attractive. He is the most attractive man in the show to me, but, like, he's attractive. You were broken up. What do you want me to do? What do you want to do about it? What are you gonna do? I need someone to put her in her place. I would do it if I was in Euphoriaville. I was ready. There were various points when Maddie's speaking that I am just ready to jump into that TV and read her for filth, drag everything about her, and leave her crying on the bathroom floor. And frankly, whilst what Nate did to her was fucked up, like, everything Nate's done to her has been fucked up, and we will talk about that in a moment, but someone needs to put that girl in her place. Now, because Nate is the next character anyway, so we're going to talk about Nate and Maddie's relationship here. I will give you $5,000 if you can find me a more toxic relationship. Not equally toxic, more toxic. It's not. That man literally choked her out. I was watching a Swoop video about the Gabby Petito thing, And she literally says in the video, I'll link it down below so you can watch it, but she says, like, choking is, like, the last step in DV before murder. So, like, just keep that in mind. Like, that's all I was thinking about when I was watching that scene. I was like, this has literally been proven to be, like, the next thing this man might do to you is murder. Like, literal in the ground murder. And when he rolled up at her house with the gun, I was literally like, is he gonna do it? First of all, I knew the gun was empty because he empties the bullets. Like, you see him empty the bullets. So, like, my friend I was watching with, Victoria, was like, oh my god. And I was just like, that gun's empty. I said while we were watching it that the gun was empty. I'm like, that gun isn't loaded. There's no way that's gonna happen. I will give Nate credit. It was smart to try and shoot himself instead of Maddie because he knows that she's, like, way too attached to him, but whatever. But their relationship just as a whole, first of all, let the man go. Like, when he showed up at her babysitting house with flowers, why did you open the door? I would have just, like, when he showed up at your birthday party, and then you got pissed when he was like, no, we're not together. And she was like, well, I was gonna say we weren't together anyway, but, like, why are you saying we're not together? Like, just a mess. A mess. Now let's talk about Nate as an individual. I want to pull a Fezco, literally beat the boy to death. I'm not even joking. I am tiny. I couldn't actually do it, but Lord knows I would want to so badly because let's just run through a brief history of some of the things Nate has done. Literal just physical violence towards Maddie, mental abuse towards Maddie. Everything he's done towards Maddie, that man is a sociopath. Also, what he did to Jules was so fucked up and so unnecessary. Like, Jules wasn't even, like, hinting she was gonna try and expose Cal. He just did it, like, for funsies. I don't understand the boy's logic. Nate's logic makes no sense to me in that. It's like, you basically played your whole hand because you also sent the CP that she is allegedly received. Whatever. It's just, it was a hot mess. Plus, just as a character, he's so fucked up. And I get that's supposed to be his character. He's supposed to be fucked up, but, like, I don't care. He's an asshole, and I want to beat the shit out of him. Now we have Kat. Kat's like a reverse Lexi almost, where it's like, in season 1, I didn't care about Lexi because she had no part. In season 2, Kat has no part. But season 1, Kat, I was honestly here for. I'm very confused how she was, like, verified on Pornhub because, like, 99% chance they check IDs. I have never cammed on Pornhub, so I can't actually tell you, but I have to assume they would, like, require some form of identification before you can just, like, start releasing content of yourself onto that site. I don't know. Pornhub's a hot mess in and of itself, so Lord only knows. I don't visit the straight side of Pornhub anyway, but yeah. Beyond that, though, Kat in this season, in season 2, I'm ready to kill her. Like, I'm actually ready to kill her. What little screen time she has, I want to slap her. When she broke up with Ethan with, like, the deep gaslighting, being like, I have a brain thing. And then he was like, you're trying to break up with me. And she's like, wow, you're gaslighting me. It's like, no, girl. No, girl. Literally just admit it. Just say you want to break up. It's high school. It's not that deep. Just say, like, hey, this ain't working. We need to break up. Don't be like, I have a brain issue. Like, I don't have a ton of time left. And then immediately flip it up. Ridiculous. Kat season 2 needs someone to put her in her place also. Her and Maddie, put them in their place. Next, we have Leslie, aka Rue's mom, if you were unaware. Here's how I feel about her. I will sympathize greatly with the fact that she is raising a drug addict. Like, Rue is not okay. I will sympathize with that. But some of the things this woman has done, like, when your child is at her lowest and you're like, you're a fuck up, you're a literal lost cause. Like, she looks her daughter in the eye and says, you're a lost cause. If I can save one of my kids, I'm gonna save Gia because I can't save both of you. She really looked Rue in the eye and said, you're not worth my energy. For anyone to say that to their child is disgusting. There were times in this season, and just the show in general, but she doesn't do much in season 1 really, where I'm just like, I would give this woman rights, but then she does things like that. Like, say to your child, you're a lost cause, you're not worth my energy, when you know your child is literally a drug addict who needs support. Ridiculous, disgusting, I cannot support it. Now for Gia. Gia is one of the 2 characters in this show that I literally have nothing to complain about. It's just, I feel so bad for her. Like, I just know so much of the attention in that house has been going to Rue. It's just, I feel terrible for Gia. And when Ali comes in and is just like, it's okay to be mad. Like, it's okay to be pissed at her. It's okay to not believe her when she says she wants to get sober this time. That's okay. That was a phenomenal scene. And I'm giving Ali credit for that too. We're not up to him yet, but I'm giving him credit for that here. Phenomenal, incredible, loved it. But Gia, just as a character, I wish they delved more into her, like, getting high, because they did that a little bit in season 1, but then, like, by season 2, Gia basically just shows up to show us that Rue's actions have minor consequences. They don't even really have major consequences. It's just the minor consequences of, like, she doesn't know anything about Gia. Gia doesn't believe her when she's like, when Rue was like, oh, I want to start smoking weed, and Gia's like, you're so fucking selfish. Like, that was a great scene. I just love Gia. Now we have Jules. I said in the other Euphoria video that I made, I'll link that one below too. I said in that video that I don't like Jules and I really want to root for her, and I stand by it. Jules bothers me so much. I've already discussed the fact that I don't think her and Rue have a very healthy relationship, but also in general, no to Jules. I'm so sorry. I want Jules to be like that bitch. I want to stan. I want to root for her, but I just can't because I don't think she's a good person. Really, the only thing she's done this season that I can actually be like, yes, we support, is her telling Rue's mom about the drugs. I think that was the right move. We can get into how it's complicated, but I think big picture, it was the right move, in my opinion at least. But just, that was it. Like, she fucks Elliot for no fucking reason. It's like, she's just mad at Rue, so then she fucks Elliot. It's like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. I will point out the irony of, like, at the start of the season where it's like, you have a crush on Elliot, he wants to fuck you, and then he ends up fucking Jules. I am well aware that was the whole point, but I thought it was funny. It wasn't funny. It made me very sad. But it was funny, kind of, I guess, if you know what I mean. But just Jules as a character, I don't like her. She bothers me. Next we have McKay, because he is technically a main character. According to the Wikipedia page, he is a main character for season 2, which is the funniest thing I've ever heard, because, like, he's in episode 1 and that's it, and he just breaks up with Cassie and then leaves. Like, it's a mess. But I did have to put him here. I didn't really care about him as a character. He didn't really do anything. He didn't seem like a great boyfriend, but compared to half the characters in the show, he's a great partner. So, yeah, I don't have a ton to say about him, but I did want to include all the main characters. McKay is going here, and he needed more of a character beyond football. Now for Cassie. Okay. I have seen a lot of things on my YouTube homepage recently about Cassie, because I guess Cassie has decided to become like that bitch for season 2, and I'm fine with that. I like Cassie as a character for the most part, at least as far as I can for most of these characters, because I don't really like any of the main characters. But Cassie, for me, first of all, here's the thing I noticed, and I feel like in the videos I've seen, no one brings this up. Cassie was not that in love with McKay like she is with Nate. So, like, the entire plotline of this season has really been, oh, like, she just needs a man, like, she'd do anything for a man. Maybe I was just blind. I don't remember her being, like, obsessive over McKay. I really don't think that was her character. I think they just made her that kind of person for this season. And it's stupid, and I don't like it. But first, let's talk about her in season 1. It was boring. She didn't do anything. She was fucked McKay. That was basically all she did. So yeah, now that that's out of the way, Cassie season 2. Cassie season 2, I have so many things to say, but I don't have the strength to go through it all. But here's this quick version. First of all, she shouldn't have fucked Nate. Like, even as Maddie's ex, like, she shouldn't have fucked Nate. She didn't actively do anything wrong. Like, it's not like she was a homewrecker, but, like, she probably shouldn't have fucked her best friend's ex. Just saying, like, I personally wouldn't, but to each their own. But then she gets, like, so obsessive, and it's so weird because I don't remember that being her character arc at all in season 1, and it just threw me. Also, I do have to point out, when she got in that truck with Nate in, I think it was episode 2, whenever he drives her out to the construction site, why? How did you put yourself in that situation? Like, I'm sorry, any sane human being had to have been sitting in their car being like, he's gonna murder me tonight, like, I'm not coming back. And then to just get out of the car and run, like, at that point, on the one hand, like, smart, thank you, he will murder you, but also, like, then when to just fuck in the construction. Cassie, get your shit together. That's all I'm gonna say about her. Next, we have Ali. Ali is my favorite character in this show. Ali is a saint. Ali is literally has all the rights. Ali, I already talked about him and Gia, but just Ali, the way he puts up with Rue, and when she called him after she, like, got clean again, and is just like, I'm sorry, and he's like, I get it. Like, we're good. I got it. Like, I know you're sorry. It's just Ali is the person Rue needs in her life. Unlike her mother, who literally will look her in the eye and say, "You're a lost cause," Ali will just sit with her in a diner and talk to her forever and be like, "Here's how I feel about you." Like, just talk to her about life. Ali is the person Rue needs. I hope he stays in her life to just keep her safe and sober and clean because she needs him. I doubt she will because that would frankly make for boring TV. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I can't imagine they're gonna keep Rue sober, but I hope they do because, or even if they don't, just keep Ali, please. He's by far the best character in this show. Next, we have Ashtray. Ashtray, same thing with Fesco. I low-key would stand, except for the fact that I can't support you selling drugs to children. Other than that, though, he is also a child, so, like, it just makes it funny. He also, when he, like, runs out with the hammer at the beginning of season 2, is low-key the funniest thing ever in retrospect. I remember watching it, losing my mind, and then, after the fact, being like, that was, he literally just runs out, parkours over the couch, and is just like, boom. It's hilarious. And with the shot, Ashtray is hilarious, but also I can't support selling drugs to children. Now we have Ethan. Ethan, I don't really have a ton to say about. He isn't really a character. I appreciated him calling Kat out when she was trying to gaslight him. I fully supported that. I was like, yes, call her out. Be like, no, girl, you're the gaslighting one here. You are gaslighting me by doing all of this, and it's not okay. Also, his gay-ass dance in the play was the peak of that episode. Like, that whole arc with them dancing and then Nate being like, it was so fucking homophobic. That was the funniest shit ever. But also, I think Ethan's a nice guy. He doesn't really do much, but as a whole, I guess I support him. Now for Elliot. I hate Elliot so much. I said in my other Euphoria characters when I matched him to K-pop Idol video that I wanted him to get hit by a bus. I stand by that wholeheartedly. I will still give him credit. It was just like with Jules. It was the right thing to tell Rue's mom about the drugs. But he's just, everything about him bothers me. Literally everything else he does beyond that bothers me so much. But also just Elliot as a character, he should have known better. Like, I'm sorry. I get he's a teenager and he should know better than to give Rue drugs. Like, I'm sorry. When your first interaction with this girl is her literally allegedly having a heart attack and you needing to give her drugs to save her, maybe don't keep doing drugs with her. Maybe point out that, like, this girl clearly has a problem and maybe I shouldn't associate with that. Also, just stay away from her. Stay away from her. Stay away from Jules. Stay away from everyone. Go home. Don't leave. Don't come out. I don't like Elliot. The next character we have is Marsha, which is Nate's mom. Marsha, please parent your children better. Like, I get that Cal was a very dominating force in your life, but also, like, when she is talking to Nate after Cal leaves and is like, I wanted to put you in therapy and your father wouldn't allow it, like, maybe talk that through with your partner. Maybe have a conversation about it. Maybe do it anyway. Like, I get that, like, maybe not the best idea, but, like, when you see your son is that fucked up, maybe send him to therapy anyway. I'd be like, I'll deal with the aftermath when I get home. Or I just won't tell my, I don't know. But, like, please parent your kids better. And, like, especially also in that same episode when she was talking about wanting to send Nate to therapy, when you're just, like, letting your kid drink, your 17-year-old, 18-year-old, how old is Nate? He's a teenager. When you're just letting him day drink with you, like, me and my mom have a very chill dynamic. I love my mom. She would absolutely day drink with me now. When I was in high school, if she caught me drinking during the day in the kitchen, she'd, like, practically kill me. She'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? You do not just drink whenever you want. Like, parent your children better. I get you're going through a crisis. Parent your children better. The next character I have some shit to say about is Samantha, which is the mom of the family that Maddie babysits for, the one that she's been vibing with. Why are you vibing with a teenager? Like, you're at least in your, like, 30s, probably, maybe late 20s. But, like, why are you vibing with an alleged, like, 18, 17-year-old? Why? Like, I watch kids every day. Like, it's literally my job to watch kids. I don't vibe like that. Like, outside of when I'm at their house, I don't vibe with the family that I nanny for. Like, I'm sorry. I don't do that. Like, it's weird. It's weird that you came home and we're just like, let's go swimming and drink and talk. It's like, That's weird. Why are you talking to this teenager about your life? Why are you being besties with a teenager? I just don't understand. I get that a big part of her character was to just introduce to Maddie this idea of leaving. Because Maddie said, I think it was in the latest episode, where she's like, I want to leave Euphoriaville. I want to go. I don't want to be here. And that is very important lore to have. It's weird. She could have said that to Kat. She could have said that to anyone else. She didn't need to say it to this grown woman with a, like, 8-year-old kid. It's a very weird dynamic. It's not predatory in the sense of, like, they're dating or anything. It's just weird. The last character I have to talk about is Faye. I just think she's pointless in this season. I'm just gonna say it. I don't understand why she's here. She's literally added nothing to any dynamic. There's nothing she's done that couldn't have been filled in any other way. The only thing we really got from her is the exposition that what's-his-name is working with the cops. That's pretty much it. Like, we don't get anything from her. She annoys me. I don't want her here. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment how you feel about every Euphoria character down below. You can leave me a manifesto if you want. I read all my comments because I don't get a ton. So I'll read it. I'll probably respond. You can comment if you want to. You can also not. You can also like and subscribe if you want to, or don't, because I will be okay either way. Other than that, along with every video that I said I was going to link in the description, I will also link my Twitter down there, which is s_albumreviews. You can follow me there if you want to. And yeah, thank you again for watching. Bye!